Hello everyone and welcome to this sort of list of the cars that I'm most looking forward to in 2025. Now usually if I was to do one of these, like let's say a few years ago, I'd probably have a few hot hatchbacks and fast saloon cars and like F-type like sports cars to rank, but unfortunately most of the cars that have so far been revealed, they're either electric SUVs, which I'm not even going to pretend to be interested in, they just bore me out of my skin, and high-end hypercars, which, yeah, I'll certainly be interested in seeing one, but I don't know, it's weird, they don't excite me as much as like a low-end sports car would sometimes. I mean, certainly they're interesting, and certainly there are a few exceptions. And a few years ago, this wouldn't really be the case, but I don't know, I just feel a bit hypercard out almost. There's like, there seems to be a new one revealed every other day by a reputable marque like McLaren or some vaporware company. Take like the Devil 16. Wonder what happened to that, by the way. But yes, enough stalling, let's get with the actual cars. Number 5, we have the McLaren W1. This car sort of accentuates all the problems I have with the whole supercar, hypercar gluttony that we have at the moment. And I don't know, they just all blend into one another. I'm sure the McLaren W1 will be a pretty great car, and certainly very, very fast, but I don't know, it just doesn't excite me as much as it really should. I mean, I'm honestly more excited about the Speedtail. Well, I was when the Speedtail came out. And does anyone remember the Speedtail? Because that seems to have flown under the radar a little bit. But yes, I don't know, it's going to be an incredible car, hopefully. But I don't know, it just doesn't excite me as much as some others. And that's a shame, really. Anyway, for number 4, we have what can only be described as a car that I used to hate, the Lamborghini Temerario. When it was revealed, I thought it was really, really quite ugly. And I don't like what they did with swapping the V10 for a V8. I still don't, in fact. I much prefer a naturally aspirated V10 to a hybrid V8. But with the new pictures they've revealed of it, with the green and the red trim and everything, I think it looks so much better. Certainly, do I prefer the Huracan? Yes. Do I prefer the Gallardo? Oh, yes, but they're not on sale anymore, and this is for cars in 2025. So, got the Temerario, which is probably going to be a great car. Hopefully, it's not boring. Hopefully, it breathes fire and makes daft noises and burns its back tyres, because the last thing the world needs is a boring Lamborghini. I mean, the last one they made was the Urus, and I could go on a rant for ages how they should have made the Estoque instead of the Urus, but I mean, I certainly want to, but now it's not the time or place. So instead, we're going to go to car number 3. And car number 3 is the Rimac Nevera R. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. The Rimac Nevera, and just like the Rimacs in general, they're some of the few electric cars that I well and truly like, or in this case even love, because I really am looking forward to these last 3 cars. The Nevera it's just, as far as looks are concerned, to start with, it just strikes that fine balance between looking like elegant and sort of beautiful looking. I wouldn't say beautiful, but certainly slightly elegant, and then aggressive at the same time. It's not gone too far down that path like the Gumpert Apollo, for example. And I can only imagine that it is going to be mind-numbingly fast. I mean, certainly it's going to be faster around a track than the Nevera, and potentially almost anything with number plates. I mean, I'm sure a YRR could take it around a track. A YRR would certainly be more of a spectacle as well, but that's not road legal, so ignore that, and that's been out for a while now. Not that I haven't seen much of it, actually, probably because they've all disappeared into garages, unfortunately, but I'm going off on a bit of a tangent. Back to the Rimac. Will it be faster in a straight line than the normal one? Potentially, because it's got all this aero and stuff on, which sort of usually hinders a car's straight line speed somewhat. But, I mean, Mate Rimac is a genius engineer, so I know it's not got an engine, but it's beside the point. So him and his team can probably make that car go faster. And I mean, I'll subject to Mate Rimac, probably the greatest CEO of all time, because he is a proper car enthusiast. He still drives around an old BMW M3, and he's just always explaining how things work. He just seems like a great guy, really. And his cars potentially the best electric car. No, they are the best electric cars in the world. But again, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent. I'm really looking forward to the Nevera. It just excites me and interests me because it's a bit more different than the W1 as well and the F80 because I mean it's electric, which is different enough in the hypercar world, and it just looks different, and it's from a Croatian company and from like a much smaller company than the established marques of Ferrari and McLaren and all that. There's also Aston Martin with the Valkyrie, but that's already come out, and that really, really love that car. But again, I'm getting distracted. On to car number 2. So, we now have the other offering from the Rimac Bugatti stable that's coming out in 2025, the Bugatti Tourbillon. Now, when this first came out, I didn't really like it. I had my rose-tinted goggles on and was all grumpy old man, like, no more W16, looks like a Chiron that's melted in the sun. And I still think it looks a bit like a Chiron that's melted in the sun, but in a good way, if you get what I mean. Which you probably don't, because that's not really a good comment saying it looks like Chiron's melted in the sun. But I like it. It looks like a more loose-slung Chiron, and I like that. Now, to the engine. I don't know what I was complaining about. I was probably just being a grumpy old man who was wanting for the part again, but it's got a V16 and it sounds incredible. I don't really know what I was complaining about. And as well as that, I think that Rimac can potentially make this the first proper driver's Bugatti. I mean, since the vintage ones. Except, I suppose, a purse sport could sort of fall into that category as well. But yes, it's probably still aiming for more of like a hyper luxury GT market sort of car as opposed to the even more driver focused Rimacs. But I think that compared to the Chiron and the Veyron, which were very, very fast, but no one really reported them driving particularly well or feeling particularly engaging in the same way a Cayman GT4 feels engaging to drive. I wonder if this Tourbillon can be the driver's Bugatti that we all sort of want. Like, I mean, imagine that. The car's going to be incredible anyway with that incredible noise and how fast it's really going to be. It's definitely going to be faster than the Chiron, because obviously, but adding on an engaging drive as well would just be the cherry on top and potentially make it the greatest Bugatti of all time. I mean, I'd probably still prefer the Veyron because I'm an old man, but yes, Tourbillon, brilliant car. Now, for number 1, this might seem a bit odd, but I've gone with the Honda Prelude. Not a hypercar or anything, just which should be a sporty coupe, maybe to rival the BRZ. Now, it's not been confirmed to go into production 2025, but Honda have said they're wanting to make it, and they are going to make it, so I'm going to assume it comes out in 2025, and also I needed another car, and I don't like the Ferrari F80, so yes, we're putting it in, and I do like the Prelude, especially like the 90s ones, but this is a new Prelude, and I think it's absolutely drop-dead gorgeous, especially for a modern car. Now, ideally, in an ideal world, this will be a rival for the BRZ and GR86. Maybe they put the Civic Type R's engine in it and make it a rival for the Alpine A110, which is like sort of outgoing now, but yes, like maybe a rival for the A110 and the Porsche Cayman, which is also dead now and being replaced. But yes, I mean that means more people will buy the Prelude. Who knows? However, I am slightly fearful that they could make it fully electric, which no one wants, and they could just make it boring, which again no one wants, and it could just be an American market only thing or a European market only thing, because in the UK we never really get many interesting cars from overseas. A lot of the time they just go to Europe, at least now they do. But I am cautiously optimistic because I'm really, really hoping this can be like a second coming of the relatively cheap, fun sports car, because that market is sort of dwindling now with the death of the F-Type and the Cayman, and the GR86 is basically sold out now unless you're willing to pay an exorbitant amount of money. And the BRZ never came to Europe, or at least the UK. I think it was just a US market thing. And yes, that's just about it, really. I mean, there's Caterham. No, the Caterham 7 is dead as well. So yes, the Prelude will be like the only fun, relatively affordable sports car, if it's fun and relatively affordable, and even comes out this year. But I am hoping, I am cautiously optimistic. Like, come on, Honda, you can do this. Make this car, and I will be a very happy man. But yes, those are the 5 cars I'm looking forward to the most this year. Is there any do you think I should have missed, or what are the cars you're looking forward to this year? Put them down in the comments, and yes, if you want to talk more about these cars, again, put them down in the comments, because I do reply to as many comments as possible, and I'm happy to talk about cars for longer. So yes, have a great day or night or evening or wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.